Above, Down, Inside Out, or A.D.I.O, is a life philosophy, but at its core, it is a way of you authentically expressing life, even expressing love, because I believe that the meaning of life is expressing love for several reasons, and I'll get into that in a second. But you're only able to live life up to the level of your own health. So health is not a state to arrive at. Health is a journey. Health is a process. Health is a resource for you to get and stay connected to yourself as well as to others. Now, I know that sounds kind of far out, but let me just say that I might know something more about yourself than you do, because you might think that you started care here because of an ache or a pain. But you really started care because you feel somehow disconnected from something that you like to do, or you fear that you might not be able to connect with somebody. Maybe it's taken a toll on your relationships. Maybe you're not able to perform up to the demands of your job as well as you would like to. And that has trickle-down effects. Maybe you are not adapting to stress as well as you should be able to, because your spine is on your nerves, and now other things, other people are getting on your nerves more easily than they should. So life is about connection. And we know that in order to connect to others better, we must connect to ourselves. We want to be firing on all 4 key cylinders. So every time you get adjusted, simply know that when we get the postural changes, think about it, I'm touching way up here, but we're expecting a difference in the leg length, a resetting of the tone of the muscles that go all the way down the spine that affect the hip imbalance and the leg length imbalance. We're expecting that, and we know that just because of how the brain is wired, that we're also necessarily having an impact on these other key areas that are in charge of your ability to think clearly, or your cognition, your ability to have good sleep and good energy, and your ability to deal with potentially stressful situations. All those areas are integrated and are working better after you get adjusted. You don't have to be an electrician to know how to benefit from turning on a light switch. And depending on how the electrician wired that up, it could turn on 1 light, 2 lights, a stadium full of lights, right? And so simply know that that is our intention, and that is the benefit that you gain while getting adjusted here. Now, I want to tell a quick story. I know myself better than anybody else, and this is how I really landed on this above, down, inside out philosophy on life. This is a picture of my spine shortly after I started chiropractic college back in the year 2000. And I was really scared. Here I am, I'm going to be investing over $100,000 into my chiropractic education. I've been seeing some of the best chiropractors in the state, yet my spine is getting worse. What gives? And I was really, really bummed out. And I remember very, very clearly taking my spine model in my bedroom, holding that thing and saying, what in the world is wrong with my spinal? And I could not say column. And that is where the journey, it wasn't instantaneous, it was a journey of epiphany really started to happen. Because the spine doesn't go out like a bunch of Jenga blocks. It doesn't topple over like a stack of Legos. It actually, when it goes out, it unravels. And just like anything that unravels, it unravels from the top or the bottom. And in the case of the spine, it does so from the top. And as you can see, I'm glad that I put all of my eggs into this upper neck-based chiropractic approach, because I am reaping the benefits over a half of a lifetime later, where I have sort of defied physics, defied gravity, thanks to the skill and the specificity at which those chiropractors were taking care of my spine, but also due to the resilience of my spine. And your results are dependent on the resilience of your spine, of your body, of your DNA that stretches out to the sun and back 3 times. We don't take that for granted here. That is our secret recipe for results, is your body's own innate or inborn ability to self-heal, so long as there is connection from brain to body through optimal nerve supply. Now, there's a downstream impact, right? So I gave you some head knowledge, right? So some above kind of knowledge. You've seen how above, down, inside out has really affected my kind of outlook or philosophy on life, and verified my intuition that I got to do something different, that I need a different paradigm, I need a different way of looking at my problem so that I can get a different result. And I realized that resilience is the ability to come back to normal after being bent, stretched, or compressed. And that's what we're doing every time you come in and get adjusted, is we're getting out in front of those layers and removing that one layer at a time as much as possible, so that we can integrate these 4 key faculties that you are endowed with by your creator. And the downstream application for you is we're going to teach you how to have better posture mobility through using a foam roll, and how to initiate movement from your core to better lunge, squat, turn, bend, push, etc. How to have a good nighttime procedure so that you can look forward to waking up in the morning and have that momentum carry you through the day. Finish it off with a good bookend to that night so that you know that you can be circumspect, that you can deal with life's challenges the next day because you've taken time and you understand your feelings and your thoughts better. You have paused to introspect throughout the day and say, what do I feel? What does this mean? And what should I do about it? That you have this more autonomous kind of ownership, and you see the implications of firing on all 4 of these cylinders, again, so that what? That you can be better connected to yourself, so that you can connect better to others. There's one last thing that I feel has to do with above, down, inside out, that really transcends these faculties of the brain and coming in and getting your spine adjusted and learning some of the skills to maximize these key areas of your life. And that is the fact that there's a spiritual component to health, right? One of the definitions of health includes a spiritual component. I can't remember if it's Dorland's dictionary, medical dictionary, or Merriam-Webster's, but one of them talks about a spiritual component. You know, we didn't make ourselves, so for me to search for the meaning of life from within the confines of my 5 foot, 100 whatever pound structure is kind of futile, right? People are searching for who they are in this life, but wait a second, what are we? What is our identity? How do we relate to the Creator? I'm not talking about in a religious sense of how I feel that a person needs to get right with God, or what happens on the other side of eternity. I'm talking about there's 12 universally accepted principles from the book of James, and my name is James, but I was called Jim my entire life, but I'm reclaiming my name of James because I happen to believe that the book of James contains the wisest words written in the past 2,000 years. For example, you can look up the first sentence of the first chapter of the book of James from the New Testament, and you will see exactly what I mean by connecting to others, starting with connecting to yourself in light of how we are connected to the Creator. And the big secret of all of that, of truly above, down, inside out, is emptying out oneself in order to be filled with the power that is beyond yourself. I know that sounds way far out. When you invest and when you do something with the intention of love, that is what lasts. It's the same mindset of start from the top, let's anchor to principles, let's align ourselves to principles, in order to bank on the best long-term result. And that is really what above, down, inside out is all about.